Welcome to Confessions of a Workaholic, where we share the untold success secrets of fearless female entrepreneurs who are obsessed with success. This, of course, is your girl Koereyelle, back again with another hot fire episode, another solo episode of Confessions. Now, these solo episodes really have like a special place in my heart. This is my opportunity to get up on my soapbox and share some of these lessons that I've had to learn the hard way. Offer you some advice that I wish somebody would have told me. And then, of course, share the untold success secrets, the things people don't talk about, the things that people don't want you to know about, the things that people don't post about on the gram. That is my goal for Confessions of a Workaholic. And so I am so appreciative of all of your feedback. I absolutely love reading all of your reviews. If you enjoy Confessions of a Workaholic, definitely make sure you leave a review. You can leave a review on iTunes, on iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Tell a friend to get her life together by tuning in to Confessions. Now, before we get into this week's Get Your Mind Right moment, y'all know I gotta plug my baby. All right, Work, Pray, Slay Weekend is a 4-day conference for women who are ready to win, and it is not like anything else out there. I promise you, nobody does it like we do it at Work, Pray, Slay, okay? Nobody is presenting the programming that we're presenting, whether you want to learn how to balance your checkbook, or you want to learn how to balance your schedule, or you want to learn how to balance your happy wife life along with your boss life, right? We are literally sharing with you everything that will help you fund your dreams, find your purpose, and figure out how to create a loving relationship. Now, Work, Pray, Slay is not just for the single ladies. I don't want you to think that. Whether you are single, married, an entrepreneur, an employee, no matter who you are, where you are, or what you are going through, if you are a woman with a goal, if you are looking for some positive reinforcement, if you are looking for positive energy and like-spirited people, then Work, Pray, Slay is where it's at. All right. So I definitely want to personally invite you to join me this November 1st through 4th here in ATL for Work, Pray, Slay Weekend. VIP passes are already sold out. Platinum passes are almost sold out. So if you are planning to make your way to ATL, definitely head over to WERKPraySlay.com for more information, and follow all of the fun on Instagram at WERKPraySlay. Our official hashtag, of course, is WERKPraySlay. So click that hashtag, check out last year's event so you can see that you are totally in for a treat. All right. Now, y'all know I like to start my solo episodes with a little Get Your Mind Right message, right? I am all about professional development, of course. I'm all about making money, all about getting to the goals, but I really, truly like to encourage people to not neglect their personal goals, right? Don't neglect your personal development as you are seeking professional development. And so the Get Your Mind Right moment is kind of the little wisdom for your personal life. The wisdom that you can hopefully use that'll help you make some better decisions, that'll help you live a better life and love the life that you are living. So this week's Get Your Mind Right moment is this: stop chasing and start replacing. Stop chasing and start replacing. What's for you doesn't have to be forced, okay? I am here to let you know that what's for you, what God blesses you with, won't require you to beg, borrow, scam, or steal, all right? But so many of us get so caught up in what looks good, so caught up in what feels good, so caught up in what the hype is all about, so caught up in these trends that even when God is tapping us on our shoulder saying, this ain't for you. I got something better for you. This is not what you are meant to settle for. We're going to chase after that thing that we're settling for because it looks good, because it feels good, or it makes us feel good. Instead of really tuning into our gut, really understanding and listening when God is trying to save us from ourselves. There are so many times when God denying you what you want is really the blessing. God not giving you what you think that you want is really helping you to get to what you need. Right? And so you have to stop wasting time wondering what happened, wondering where things went wrong, and worrying about problems and people of the past. All right? Stop chasing and start replacing. Take note on what part you played. Of course, I'm not saying just, sweep it under the rug, forget about it, move on. Definitely take note of what part you played, learn the lesson, and then keep it moving, because you are on a mission. God created you to do something great. And as long as you are wasting time focusing on things that aren't for you, you are literally holding yourself back from getting what God has for you. All right. So I want you to focus your energy and your attention on what's aligned with your purpose and forget everything else. It's literally just a distraction. All right. So don't waste your time whining to everyone about what happened to you. Right. A lot of us like to do that when we are in like our woe is me stage. We want to call up all our girlfriends one by one, tell them what happened, cry to them a little bit, get their sympathy. And then we want to play the victim. That's cool, but that's not going to get you anywhere. And so if we are really talking about getting to what God has for us in 2018 and beyond, we don't have time to chase. We don't have time to chase what God clearly is showing us is not meant for us. All right. So instead of chasing, we're going to replace. We're going to make sure that we make our next move our best move. So again, don't waste your time whining to everybody about what happened to you. Don't waste your time worrying about why things didn't work out. And don't you dare lose sleep over things that God did not have for you. Right? A boss never takes a loss because she always learns a lesson. Let me say that again. A boss never takes a loss because she always learns a lesson. So some of us are steady chasing after things that we know are not for us because our pride won't let them go. Our pride won't let us lose this person or this situation. We can't put our pride aside long enough to realize that we are literally wasting our time and digging a deeper hole as long as we chase, right? And so you have to sometimes realize that you winning means letting go. You really, really winning means moving on. All right. So this week's Get Your Mind Right moment, stop chasing, start replacing, understand that what God has for you, you don't have to chase. You don't have to chase what God has for you. And that brings me into this week's topic, which I know you are going to enjoy. I know it's going to bless someone, but it's hard. Right? It's something that's really, really hard to do, but it's so necessary. And it has played such a crucial role in me manifesting the things that I've been able to manifest in my life. And so this week's topic is trust God's timing. Now, if you don't believe in God, you can insert any other name that, resonates with you, anything else that you are comfortable with, but whatever higher power you subscribe to, trust the timing of that power. Trust the timing of the universe, all right? Don't let time make you doubt what God promised you. Don't let time make you doubt what God promised you. I posted this on Instagram the other day, and it was actually the inspiration for this week's episode, because so often we set these goals, we make these vision boards, we write in our journals about the amazing things that we want to manifest. And then 6 months down the line, when things are not unfolding the way we envision them unfolding, we start to lose faith. We start to doubt what God has for us because we decided, according to our timeline, let me just tell y'all a joke real quick. According to my timeline, I was supposed to be married by 25, right? And because I was so dead set on my own deadline that I had given myself, I literally almost ruined my life. Literally almost sold my soul to the devil to keep up with this deadline that I had given myself. And so trust me when I say, I've done it both ways. I've tried to rush the process. I've tried to rush it to the point where I wanted to control everything. I knew what I knew that I knew, and I knew that I wanted what I wanted, and I wanted it right now. And when you do that, you are literally sabotaging yourself. So trust me when I say that I know the hardest part of the process is having patience, but it is so necessary. It's the most important part of the process, having patience and trusting God's timing. And so this week on episode 50, my 50th episode of Confessions, a milestone episode, I wanted to share this very special message because no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're working toward, no matter where you are, who you are, or where you've been, it's never too late. You've never messed up bad enough to not get back on the right track. You never shamed God so much that he's going to give up on you. I promise you. And so this week, I want to talk about the importance of trusting God's timing. I got 3 reasons why you absolutely, positively have no choice other than to trust God's timing. It's mandatory. If you want to manifest what you want, it's mandatory that you trust God's timing. So reason number 1, when you rush it, it ain't right. When you rush it, it is not right. I told y'all that I had given myself this deadline, right? By 25, I was supposed to be married. And so I was serious about this deadline. I wasn't just wishing and hoping. Like, I was talking to God, like, okay, God, now I'm knocking on 25. Where is he at? And I literally wrote a letter. I'm laughing at myself now, but it worked. So if you want to take this advice, beware. But I literally wrote myself a letter. I wrote God a letter spelling out all of the things that I wanted in this husband, right? All of the crazy, silly, petty things, down to the kind of car that I wanted him to drive, the job that I wanted him to be working, his height, his hygiene, his appearance. Like, I had the silliest stuff on this list. And so I wrote this list in October. By the next March, this was October 2009, by March 2010, this man literally walked into my life. And the day I met him, I'm not exaggerating, y'all. I got girlfriends that can verify this story, okay? The day I met him, he told me I was going to be his wife. He told me that God had sent him to me, okay? And when I started to get to know him, he was literally 9 out of 10 things in this letter, okay? He was everything. It was so scary. I had to pull out this letter and show him. Like, you are literally my manifestation, all right? And this relationship, we ended up getting engaged 2 months later and called off the engagement that November. So this whole relationship was from March to November, okay? And I am here as a living witness to tell you that when you try to rush it, it ain't right. Because I had given myself this deadline that I needed to be married by 25, I was willing to accept whatever I got at 24 that was going to work with this deadline that I had given myself. I was willing to accept anything as long as I was going to stay on track for this 25-year-old wife that I had envisioned myself as being, right? And so I literally almost sold my soul to the devil just because I was trying to keep up with the pressure of other people, just because I had given myself this unrealistic deadline that was based on absolutely nothing, okay? And so I literally almost ruined my life because I was trying to rush things. And so I'm here to tell you today that delayed is not denied. Sometimes God is literally delaying your plans because he has to get things in order before he puts you on that path. So it took me going through that relationship to realize that I couldn't rush things. It took me going through that relationship to realize that I was not ready to be a wife, that it was a much bigger responsibility than what I realized, that being a wife was not just getting a ring, right? Being a wife was not just having a wedding, but it was a huge commitment. It was a huge challenge. It was a huge role that I actually had to prepare for. And so that led me to really, truly making a name for myself, to creating the Single Wives Club, to getting all, that's probably, what led you all to even finding me. And so do I regret that relationship? Absolutely not. If it was not for me learning that lesson, I would not be the woman that I am today. And I know that without a doubt, because I would not have learned those lessons. I would not be able to share half the lessons I've learned if I hadn't started with that lesson. That lesson started a domino effect in my life. Right? And once I started on the path of personal development, that's when my professional stuff started to come together. So that's why I always like to remind you all not to try to separate the two. You can't just go after all these professional goals and neglect the personal shit that you got going on, okay? So delayed is not denied. Sometimes God is saving you from yourself. The first reason why you have to trust God's timing is because when you rush it, it ain't right, okay? You cannot rush perfection. I was not ready to get married. I was not in the right place mentally to choose a good mate to marry. So not only was he not right, but I wasn't right. I wasn't right and I wasn't ready. So after that relationship, I didn't blame anybody. I didn't hate men. I didn't wonder why this happened to me. I realized it was a wake-up call. I realized it was God giving me a second chance. I realized it was God telling me you can do anything you want because you have the power. If you could make it out of this abusive relationship, and it turned abusive real quick, if you could make it out of this, you can survive anything. And that literally is what empowered me to do everything that I've done. So sometimes God putting you in those positions, even when it seems like it's the worst possible thing that could happen to you, is all a part of his perfect plan. All right. When you rush it, it ain't right. I know I'm not the only one that's tried to rush into a relationship. Okay. Think about all the things that you've tried to rush into that just did not work out. Think about all of the things that you thought you wanted that God showed you wasn't what you needed. All right. I want you to really, truly believe and understand that things are coming together perfectly because God has been working overtime. I'm talking nonstop, around the clock, on your behalf, behind the scenes. Okay, this is where your faith really comes in. This is where you got to put your money where your mouth is. This is where you really have to understand that faith will create opportunities. That faith is what will make a way out of no way. That faith is what will put that check in your mailbox to help you pay that rent when you don't know how you was going to pay that rent. Okay, you have to understand that faith is what's going to introduce you to that next connection. Faith is what's going to send you down this street to meet this person on this perfect day. That's going to open up the new door. That's going to lead to your next opportunity. That's what faith does for you. Fear, on the other hand, reveals obstacles. Fear is that little devil on your shoulder telling you all of the reasons why you're not ready, all of the reasons why it's not time, all of the reasons it's not going to work out yet. All right, so you have to find faith. Faith means trusting yourself the way that you claim to trust God, because guess what? You are one. God is working through you. Okay, so if you have faith in God, that means you have faith in yourself. Faith means knowing that even when things don't appear to be adding up, God is back there with the calculator. Okay, even if it ain't adding up on this side, it's adding up on God's side. All right, faith means not getting discouraged when the deadline you gave yourself doesn't align with the timeline that God has for you. I promise you, rushing things ruins things. So number one, when you rush it, it ain't right. The second reason why you absolutely have to trust the process is because you don't know what you don't know. Period. You don't know what you don't know. Some things are out of your control because they're beyond your scope of vision. They're like above your pay grade, okay? Your level of consciousness stops at a certain place. You can't even fathom the future that God has in store for you. But you're running yourself ragged, trying to put together a puzzle that you don't even have all of the pieces for, right? You don't know everything that you need to know in order to get everything that you want. There's certain things that God has to teach you. There's certain things that God has to put you through so that you can learn a lesson to use at the next level of life, okay? There have been so many times when I've given my clients advice or helped them, provided a strategy, and they act like I'm the Buddha, right? They act like I am an answer to their prayers. But I don't have all the answers. I know certain things based on my experiences. I know certain things just off the top of my head that it might take somebody else years to figure out on their own. Some of you are so busy trying to figure everything out on your own instead of turning to your coach, your inner coach that has never left you, never neglected you, right? Turning to that inner coach, tuning into your intuition that knows every answer you'll ever need before you even need them, and trusting the process. You don't know what you don't know. And until you've experienced certain things, you're going to have to go with God. You're going to have to go with your gut. You're going to have to learn to tune in and trust your instinct. Tune in and trust your intuition. So the second reason why you absolutely have to trust God's timing is because you just don't know what you don't know. All right. Some things you just don't have the answer to. So you have to trust God. You have to find that faith. And then the third reason why you have to trust the process is because you will literally stress yourself out and keep yourself stuck by trying to control things that are out of your control. You have to trust God's timing, okay? You have to let go and let God. Now, I know that's like a cliche, let go and let God, but I mean it for real. I mean having so much faith that you don't have to walk past and stare at that vision board every single day and remind God of what you said you wanted. Remind God of these goals that you set, all right? You have to recognize that he got you. He got you this time just like he had you last time, right? Think about all of those times when you thought you were defeated. Think about all of those times when you wanted to give up. Think about all of those times when you did not know how you were going to make it through. You survived. You did it. God helped you out some way, somehow. And so instead of stressing yourself out, instead of literally keeping yourself stuck, you have to learn to trust God's timing. All right? Stress will literally kill you. It causes 90%, 90% of all diseases are caused by stress. And so you literally cannot afford to spend your time stressed out. When things are already working out, things are already worked out. Things have already been worked out in your favor. God has already worked it out on your behalf. But you're so busy stressing out that you haven't even looked up to realize that things have already started to come together. You are literally one phone call away. You are one connection away. You are one interview, one opportunity, one blessing away from a whole new life. All right? One. All it takes is one. That's how close you are to living the life that you've been dreaming about. That's how close you are to getting everything that God has promised you. But first, you have to understand that if you rush it, you're going to ruin it. You also got to understand that you just don't know what you don't know. And then, of course, you have to understand that you'll stress yourself out and you will stay stuck if you're trying to control things that are out of your hands. We all wish that we could control our circumstances a little bit more. We all wish that we could bring things to fruition a little bit faster. And even when you find yourself feeling frustrated because the vision that you once had doesn't match your current view, you have to keep the faith. You have to trust the process and know that what's meant for you will not miss you. If you enjoyed this episode of Confessions, you are absolutely going to love Work, Pray, Slay Weekend. I can't wait to see you there. For details and passes, visit WERKPraySlay.com. I love you. Thanks for listening. See you next week.